Hey guys, welcome to the Q&A, the monthly Q&A for Comic Uno. So, I just realized my earbud is not in my ear. So there you go. So we're starting the monthly Q&A. I started it a little bit early, which I see that you guys are already asking questions. So keep coming with the questions, keep coming with the comments. That'd be great. For some reason, the view count's not going on my thing, so I'll wait until, like, I guess 8 to kind of answer, or that's 3 minutes, 8 o'clock Eastern time, to start answering questions and getting you guys to join. So yeah, I've been keeping my promise to do monthly Q&As. I'm really happy to do that because, as you guys know, I really like these Q&As and interacting with you guys. So I did one for, I think it was December, January, and now February. So this is like 3 in a row, and I'm happy about that. Hopefully I could keep up the streak with these Q&As. Hopefully you're enjoying them. So I saw Deadpool today, so if you guys haven't seen my review, watch it after the Q&A. So that was nice that I got to see that movie, and I can't believe we're like a month away from Batman vs. Superman. So yeah, we're a couple of months away from Civil War, X-Men coming up, Suicide Squad. I mean, the Doctor Strange and the end of the year. The list kind of goes on with how many superhero movies are coming out, which is great. And then also, I guess this coming month, I want to see Zootopia. Disney, my Disney fan, I gotta go see it. I still haven't seen Good Dinosaurs, so I still need to see that movie, which is coming out on Blu-ray, so I'll be able to see it that way. Trying to think if there's any other March movies I want to see, again, besides Batman vs. Superman and Zootopia. Those are two I definitely want to see. So just mentioning that, because again, went to the movies today and to go see Deadpool. So yeah, let's get into some questions. I see that we have like 6 viewers now, so it's not too bad for starting early. 5 viewers. All right, let's get started and get through some. Yeah, we got some cool stuff here. I got UCat from the Omnitron, which I'm guessing you meant YoCat. But he also gave a question, which is from Omnitron. With the Deadpool movie now out and getting such great reviews around, do you think this movie could be a gateway to more rated R superhero movies, and the break of superhero movies must be PG-13? Yeah, I think so. I think it really depends on the hero, though, because I don't think we need a rated R Spider-Man movie. But, you know, a character like Deadpool needed to be rated R. A character I would like to see rated R, which I think plays kind of this middle ground where you could make it PG-13 or you can make it rated R, would be Wolverine. I would really like to see maybe his last movie to be rated R. Now, again, since he already has kind of a franchise, which I'm going to put the heat on, sorry. Since he already has a franchise, it might be hard because then you have, like, know the character, be like, oh, you know, Wolverine, I know you, you're not that bad. And then you go rated R. That'd be a little bit harder of a transition. So, but yeah, I would like to see a Wolverine rated R movie if they could do so. All right, going into some more questions. God King Mope says, best Flash origin. Which I see myself paused on my screen, so hopefully it's not pausing for you guys. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, keep coming with the questions. So yeah, God King Mope says best Flash origin, Mope, or Mope. Guessing that has something to do with his name. But the best Flash origins, I liked how they did it on the TV show. I'm guessing the medium, you mean, of the best Flash origins. I like how they did it on the show. I think they did a good job. But I think the best jumping on point for a Flash book, if you guys want to get into Flash, would be Flash Rebirth. I think it's a great book to jump into and learn about the Flash family in general. Omnitron said access the video is cutting out randomly. I think it is for me too. So it seems like just refresh it and hopefully we're good. So yeah, keep telling me if the video keeps cutting out though, and we'll figure it out. All right, so yeah, let's see if continue. I'm gonna, because if I have to restart it, I don't want to go too far into the Q&A. Looks good to me right now, so hopefully it doesn't continue to do that. Okay, so Again, keep me updated with that. Alan Mullins says, what's your take on the rumors that the studio is not happy how Batman vs. Superman turned out and that they might have to throw money at Ben Affleck's Batman movie to rebuild the universe? Rumors are rumors. I think people spread them, and obviously Batman vs. Superman's already not controversial movie, but it's a very split movie. Some people are really excited about it and some people aren't. So I think that's why the rumors are spreading. And I don't go into rumors until we actually see the movie. I don't want to really say, oh my God, this could be a horrible movie, or oh my God, this could be a great movie. I don't really want to hype myself. So I'm just waiting until the movie to get to that point. All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's pausing anymore, which is great. Omnitron says, with all the rumors going on with DC Rebirth promotion going around, what do you think that could mean? Flashpoint titles, a merger of New 52, and pre-Flashpoint. Personally, I think it's going to be a merger of pre-New 52 and the New 52. I personally would just like to, I don't want to say go back because then I feel like these 5 years have meant nothing. So I just hope they could combine it in a good way that people can understand and not make it totally confusing for people. So that's the hope. I don't know if it'll end up happening, but we really just don't know enough. We don't have enough information about it. But if they could do what they did with the other Rebirth titles like Flash or Green Lantern, then it might be good. So we'll have to see. Again, that's definitely a wait and see moment that we just need more information and we don't really know when we're going to get it. Hopefully sooner than later. All right. Tevye asks, how was Deadpool? I don't want to give my opinion about Deadpool, so go check out my review if you want my opinion about Deadpool, because then what's the point of saying it here and you guys not watching the reviews? So go watch that. Also, on Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time is a new Media Madness where we're going to have Black Critic Guy, Tony, Real School Mike, Joe from Agree to Disagree, and other Rob joining us to talk about Deadpool. So we're having the gang come back together. So really excited about that, to talk about a movie like Deadpool. And, of course, me and Jay. So definitely go check that out if you want an even more in-depth discussion for Deadpool and save your Deadpool questions for Media Madness. That'd be great. All right. Yeah, keep telling me if the video is going well. It looks like the video is going fine now because I'm looking at the thing and they said, yeah, Alan says it kept getting an error every time. Tevye says no spoilers. Well, there definitely won't be any spoilers because, like I said, I'm not going to talk about Deadpool here. It was doing it for me every 5 seconds, but so far, so good now. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, on my part, it's fine. All right, so Jonathan Schaefer asks, are there titles or books you have read that you prefer to read in trade format or older trades you have really liked? That's a really great question. I'm definitely more of a single issue reader. I can't wait to have that trade because a lot of the companies, even Marvel, well, actually, both Marvel and DC are not great with the trades coming out so much in time. So I like reading those issues by issues. And then, obviously, story tends to get spoiled for you if you read it in trade. But series that I like to read in trade personally, as of right, is to catch up with series. So like Saga, I'm reading in trade just because I have to catch up with the story. Revival, I read in trade to catch up with the story. American Vampire, I did the same thing. Now, books I feel like are better reads in trades. Probably Birthright is a really good trade read. I read a single issue, but I caught up with the series, and I saw it as a better trade read. Now, Morning Glories is a series I've been reading since issue 1, issue by issue, but as I read it, I could tell this is a better trade read than maybe single issue story. What else? And Gotham Academy, also, me and Mike, Spire Slayer from Comic Frontline, both agree that that's a better trade read because Jay is a huge fan of the series and he reads it issue by issue, but for me, I like catching up with that series. So, but again, I'm not a huge trade reader, but when I am, it's mostly to catch up with series. But there are books I think that do read and flow better as a trade because some writers write for story arcs more than issue to issue. All right. God King Mope says Mope is a magical imp who in the 70s created Flash for about a week. And they retconned him out because people hated him. Yeah, I never knew that. You know, I became a Flash fan probably right before the Flashpoint. So that series before that. So I haven't been like, you know, a Flash fan all my life. So I'm still learning about the character as I go along. But of course, I for a while, but yeah, it was definitely like Green Lantern was one of those characters I read with Jeff Johns' run. I didn't really read the previous Green Lantern stuff, so I never knew that about Mope. Tevia, speaking of DC Rebirth, why can't? All right, so we definitely talked about that. All right, Omnitron says, do you think the rumor that Titan Hunt is happening because the original Wally West is breaking through to the New 52 universe is true? I don't know. I don't think that's true. I didn't even hear about that rumor, but you never know with DC. Omnitron says it was freezing again. Right now I'm not getting anything. Well, a lot of people are saying it's freezing. So keep telling me, guys, if it is getting frozen. On my end it's not. But if it does, let me know. All right, so yeah, Tevia said it froze for him. Omnitron. Oh, no, it's not freezing for me. Tevia says, any opinion on Exo Man of War or Ivor the Time Walker? I really don't read many Valiant books just because, or Valiant, just because it's kind of hard to get into their universe. It's very, very self-contained and there's not a lot of jumping on points. And also, like, I have read some of the jumping on points and it's just not a universe I'm totally interested in. So, yeah, no opinion on those titles. And I've never really even heard of Ivor the Time Walker. Omnitron says, anyway, so far as Titan Hunts go, I'm so happy since my favorite super team in general go to Just Society, Teen Titans, Avengers, and Justice League. Tevia asks about Harbinger, but like I said before about the Valiant comics, it kind of goes for that too. God King Mope says he's the most obscure comic character I could find. Yeah, I, again, never even heard of him, so I could agree with that. So yeah, keep coming with the questions, guys, because we're getting towards the end. Let's see. Omnitron says, I don't mind the race change for New 52 Wally, just the fact that he's an insufferable little snot. I actually dropped Flash, so I can't tell you if Wally has improved or not. I don't really like this current run. And I agree, like, I think they changed his character a lot, and that's kind of the bad part, which I think they're doing Wally better on the Flash TV show at this point. So hopefully, you know, we could see Wally in character soon. And then FN FNAF Foxy says, hi, hey, thank you for joining. All right, DNG says, what combo character would you say currently has some potential? I think I want to go with Carol Ferris. I feel like she has so much potential, but not enough people use her in comics. I would like to see Carol Ferris get something. I said that for years too. Ever since she's become Star Sapphire, I don't think they've utilized the character enough. I'm sure there's more. Maybe even Sue Storm. We haven't seen a good Sue Storm story in a while too. It'd be nice if she kind of, because right now she's with Reed Richards on, I think it was the Moon where we last left them in Secret Wars. So it'd be nice if she kind of did her own thing also, because she's a character I feel has had great stories, but recent years they haven't done much with her. God King Mope's talking about Mope. Mope. He said, want to know about Mope. Nerd Sync covered him a lot over on his channel. Nerd Sync is awesome. So there's a plug. All right. Tavia asks, question, any opinion on the upcoming issue 12 for Amazing Spider-Man? Because in my opinion, it looks like we're going to get Mary Jane in Spider-Man series. Let's hope it's good. I don't know. I don't like hyping myself. Like I said, I'll wait until the issue comes and then figure it out then. I don't think Mary Jane will be permanent in the series. It just doesn't look like they're going that direction with the character. I see her maybe being a guest star and just seeing the new status quo for Mary Jane and what they're doing with her in Iron Man. Omitron says Wally has just disappeared from the Flash after his debut. I've seen him every once in a while in the series from what I saw and what I've been hearing that has been talked about. But again, I have not read the Flash in months. Maybe it's probably been a year now. I dropped that series because it's not the new direction. It just I didn't like the storylines just kind of bored me. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Talk about Wally. Jonathan Schaefer says, as a newer comic book reader, for the constant status quo change gets a little tiring compared to Image when characters stay dead, or is that something you just used to now with the big two? Yeah, it's something you get used to. Image and other companies, you can't really compare it in that way because Marvel and DC, they play with the same characters for so many years, so they got to change it up. With Image, it's creator-owned, so they end the series and it's over. And then you go on to the next creator-owned book. So it is very different because I feel Image doesn't play with franchises as much, I guess. Like, they kind of have their own franchise. But like I said, they end the title, it's over. It's all creator-owned. With Marvel and DC, it's editorial-heavy. And these characters have lasted so long, so you want to make it fresh and new. And they're playing with one genre, not one genre, because obviously there's superhero genre and there's genres inside the superhero genre, but they are playing with superhero genres and they want to make it fresh, so they, do that to try and make it fresh. So yeah, I think comparing it to indie companies is kind of a different beast. Tevi asks, new question, since Web Warriors is going to feature MC2 universe, do you think they're going to see Dark Devil in the Web Warriors or Benji? Anything's possible, I think. Alan Mullen says, remember, Tevia, we always watching. Quote from Angels from In the Outfields, which I'm pretty sure is a Disney Channel movie. If not, I saw it in Disney Channel. All right, going up. Sorry. Lost my spot. Omitron says it could have worked if they didn't give him the most cliche, borderline. Well, yeah, he's just talking about Wally. TV bitch says, have you been watching Lucifer? I think it needs work. I actually have been watching Lucifer, and usually with these type of TV shows, and I'm all caught up. I watched all 3 episodes, and I saw episode 1 way back in San Diego Comic-Con. So I hadn't seen the show until I saw episode 2 and then episode 3 for a while, like I said. So, I'm usually not the type of person. Usually the person where a lot of people disagree on a TV show. Like, I totally see where they're coming from. And like with these type of shows, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really like it. Well, Lucifer, I really like the show. Do I agree it's a bit too procedural and it might be too slow for its own sake? Yeah, but I really like the characters. I think the acting's really well done. And I really like Lucifer. But I see a lot of people not liking it. And I don't know. I'm like on that other minority fence. And I'm usually not in that group when there's a show like that. Like, I don't know. It's weird. So, but I really like it. I like Lucifer so far. And I'm all caught up. I think the only shows I'm not caught up with right now that I'm continuously watching is Agent Carter. I'm a few episodes behind on, and I'm like 1 episode behind on The Magicians. And I think like some of my comedy shows I'm behind. So like The Muppets, I'm like 2 episodes behind. Other than that, I think that's all. And Shannara Chronicles, I might be dropping because I've been kind of behind on it. It hasn't really impressed me. So, and then Shadowhunters, I totally dropped after episode 1. But Shannara Chronicles, I actually gave like a good 5 episodes. But I might drop that just because there's so much TV on, especially on Tuesday nights. So I'm probably going to But The Magicians is really well done. I just haven't had time to watch this week's episode. And Agent Carter is pretty good this season, but it's kind of harder to binge watch that, so I just haven't had time. I think I've seen like 3 episodes this season. All right. Omnitron says, thoughts on Justice League action cartoon coming out? I'm worried since one of the producers is working on Teen Titans Go, and I thought it paused. Sorry. We talked about this a bit on Frontline Live. If you guys don't watch Frontline Live, it's on every Tuesday at around 9:30 to 10, where we talk a lot of comic news and stuff like that. And we talk about all the comic books that came out that week too. It's really fun show. But yeah, I talked about it on there, and I'll give a little short synopsis of what I said. I'm going to watch the first episode. I don't know how good it's going to be. It might just be exactly like Teen Titans Go, but I got to give the first episode a chance, or at least see something come out of it. We really don't have a lot of information on it to really judge it right now. All right, moving on. All right. Traven Johnson says, I know this is kind of off topic, but do you think DC will bring back Young Justice? Okay, so this is a question I've been getting a lot because obviously you guys know I'm a Young Justice reviewer and I love the show. And, my channel, became popular because of Young Justice. So some people have been asking me to do videos for the Young Justice news or what happened. Now, this is my stance on what's going on with Young Justice, is that some of the writers said, watch the Netflix episodes, and we might have a chance to get season 3 of Young Justice. Now, the reason I haven't made a video about it is because at some point I do think it's a little overhyped to get a season 3 of Young Justice just to watch Netflix. I think you should watch the Netflix episodes just because you love the show. Also, if you have a friend that's never seen the show, totally tell them to watch it on Netflix because they should anyways. But I don't want to overhype the situation where I'm saying like, yes, it will get renewed if you watch on Netflix, because that's not really what the writers said. They just said they get this question a lot. So they're like, they want to give people an answer, and that's kind of the answer they have right now. They don't have a deal with Netflix. And also, I think it will be a bit hard because Netflix is working with Marvel, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. The DC properties that DC has to say yes, and they have a lot of properties on Cartoon Network. The actors have to say yes. The writers have to say yes. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I didn't want to make a video to overhype something that I don't necessarily believe is totally going to happen yet. I kind of want more information and to get closer to that point before I say, this is going to happen. So that's kind of my opinion on the Young Justice situation. But again, I say watch the show on Netflix, definitely, because you love the show. And I love the show, and I have watched it on Netflix even before season 2 came out. I have the Blu-rays. That definitely helps a lot too. And honestly, even more is to get the Blu-rays. That's how a lot of shows have returned in the past to its network. So yeah, I think it's also because you have these other revivals happening, like Gilmore Girls or Full House. But also those are shows that have, 20 years is from Full House. And Gilmore Girls has been, 10 years now. So they've been waiting for a long time too. Not that us Young Justice fans haven't, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. So that's why I haven't made a video on it yet. But that's kind of my stance on it. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Okay. God King Mope says, have you ever made it through the full Clone Saga? I have. I have read the full Clone Saga, and I also read the one that came after. I'm trying to think of the name. Tom DeFalco wrote it. It's the one where like Ben Reilly returns for like a mini series, and it's been a really long time since I've read it. I read it when it came out. It was a mini series. Again, I don't remember what it was called, but in the comments, I'm sure you guys know. Sparrow says, did you read the New 52 John Constantine? And if so, what do you think? Actually, I have a friend who's a huge Constantine fan, and she reads it, but I haven't. I'm just not a big Constantine fan. I didn't love the show. Never really been interested in the character. I think maybe I've read one issue or so of the New 52 version, but not really my thing. Tevi, I'm not going to answer that Amazing Spider-Man question. We've talked about that a lot. Oh, sorry, I gotta scroll back up. Hold on. Thank you guys for awesome questions. Tevia said it froze again. Yeah, just keep letting me know if it freezes. Sorry. Google Plus. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to see the questions. Oh, Jonathan Schaefer says, thanks, on the best explanations I've heard. Makes more sense now. Jonathan, which topic? I would like to know. All right. Alan Mullen says, actually, it was a Disney motion picture, Angel in the Outfield. I guess that's why I saw it on Disney Channel. God King Mope says, why does no one like Wally? I think it's the New 52 version a lot of people don't like, but I think people like Wally himself. No, this is a great question. DNG says, do you have an all-time favorite hero team? Teen Titans, probably. That's a question that I always get, like, oh, who's your all-time favorite character? But I never really get who's your all-time favorite team. That's a cool question. All right, the Omnitrons. Do you think DC is being unreasonable by not letting the TV shows use certain characters, since the Flash is going into the multiverse concepts, and to watch the Flash, go see movies too? After all, I don't like the double standard about that, because DC says, oh well, Arrow can't use Deathstroke because he's in the movies, but then there's the double standard of, and they're making a Flash movie, but for some reason that doesn't matter. I remember Stephen Amell getting upset about that too when that was announced, because it was announced like a week after Flash premiered with these amazing ratings. And my stance on that is that the Flash does not need a movie, honestly, because you have a TV show. What are you going to do with the movie? Like, why would I want to go pay money to go see a Flash movie where we have an awesome TV show I'm watching every week that I don't have to pay money for? So I don't understand why we need that at all. Like, if you want to add the Flash into the Justice League, go ahead. But we do not need a Flash movie. I don't agree with that. So that's my stance on that. But very good question. I feel like I'm saying stance a lot today. God King Mope says, I like Lucifer too. It makes me smile. Yeah, I really like the actor. I like it. I hope it survives. DNG says, the best way to watch Lucifer is not to read the book first. Yeah, I haven't. I read the newest Vertigo book, but I will say it's not new reader friendly at all, so I had to drop it. You would have to read the Hellblazer stuff or the Lucifer book to really understand what's going on in the Lucifer new Vertigo series, which I don't think you should do a series like that. You should make the new reader understand where you're coming from. But yeah, I've never read the Lucifer series, so I like it for what it is, and I could agree. You could definitely tell it's nothing like the comic, and it's very much a procedural. So yeah. So let's go into some more. Tevia, I actually already answered this, but okay. Any opinion on the Shannara Chronicles? I just talked, in the Sharma Chronicles, I think you're talking about the Shannara Chronicles. I talked about that earlier. And DNG says Shannara actually got better. And Tevia says Agent Carter is nothing like its first season. Yeah, so far the first season I think is a little bit better too. I like the villain. Jonathan Schaefer says, besides comics, TV series, do you have any other hobbies? Sorry if this is off topic. I would say comics and TV is my biggest hobby. John says, in Batman 49, I agreed with Alfred. Who did you agree with? Alfred, good question. I see both sides. I see Alfred, I totally understand his point of view, because he wants his son back, he wants Bruce and he wants him to be happy. But then you understand Bruce's concept, because he needs to be Batman. Gotham needs Batman. So I understood both point of views. I don't know if I could pick a side. Hey, Chris, what's going on? So Chris is in the comments, who's also from Comic Frontline. Go check out his channel. Chris says, I can't watch that show, but I never was too much into TV. I'm glad Chris is getting into TV a bit more, though. Me and Jay have hassled him to get into some shows. And he's getting the anime, so that's good. He's starting to watch some more stuff. Says his main worry, I guess, is about Justice League Action. My main worry is if they're going to try and tie into Teen Titans Go. That scares the ever-loving hell out of me. Yeah, again, if I don't like the show, I'm just kind of just going to drop it. And like Teen Titans Go, I watched, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. 3 episodes. I saw the pilot, and I guess that counts as 6 episodes. I saw the pilot episode. I saw the Young Justice episode. And I saw another episode at Comic-Con. So, yeah, I just ignore it and just don't watch it. So I guess the same thing would happen with Justice League Action. And then Chris and Tevi are having a conversation. And Chris says he's going to catch up on Young Justice on Netflix. And you totally should. It's a great series. And I think both Season 1 and Season 2 are great. Omnitron says, I still say Young Justice was canned because it wasn't like the New 52 or DC was trying to hype the New 52 at the same time. I don't believe that because we have shows like Flash and Arrow and even Supergirl. They're taking from more the pre-New 52 route. So I think Young Justice was canned for the reasons that, that were stated in the past. It had to do with toy sales and children watching the show, which there's been interviews, I think it was from Paul Dini, that was on Kevin Smith's podcast, is trying to think which one, but he was talking about Tower Prep, which is a great Cartoon Network show, which you should totally check out. It only lasted a season, though, and the reason it got canceled was because too many families were watching it. They wanted boys to watch the show, and they saw girls starting to watch it. They started getting into the girls' background story, and that's why I really like it. Actually, one of the girls that was in Tower Prep played Mia Dearden in Smallville. Great show, like I said, if you like Paul Dini and his work. So it got canceled because of that, and even though it had good ratings. So that goes back to Young Justice. I don't think they got the target demographics they wanted, and that's why it got canceled. I don't think it had anything to do with the New 52, though, because, again, Arrow and Flash are doing so well with pre-New 52 continuity. The TV bitch says the Shadowhunters got significantly better after the first 2 episodes. I would totally watch it too. I just it's so again, have so much television, and for me that first episode just didn't grab me. And also I want to see if it actually gets renewed before I invest. But I have a lot of friends that are into the book series, so I'm sure I'll be watching it if it does last because of them. Timothy says, I believed it worked with Avatar that when it was on Netflix it grew very popular and we're able to do Korra. I didn't hear about that. Oh, no. I would have to look into that. I didn't even know Avatar was on Netflix. Tavia says, Family Guy came back, and that was more for DVD sales, not Netflix. And Futurama, same thing, DVD sales. And like I mentioned before, again, with Young Justice, there's a lot of factors that go into it. DC, what they're doing with Cartoon Network, Netflix, what they're doing with Marvel, all the writers, all the voice actors. There's a lot more than just, there's a lot more business aspects that go into making a show return. So that's why I don't like hyping it up. Chris says that Futurama was okay. It didn't feel the same, but it was good to see it back for a little while. I love the last episode of Futurama, like the last. I thought was really well done. My brother is a huge Futurama fan. So, and when I was growing up, the show too. And Tavio's got the miniseries I was talking about before, Spider-Man: The Real Clone Saga. Sean, do you think Eddie Brock will be Agent Venom instead of Flash Thompson in Spider-Gwen? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Maybe they'll try to play with the Venom story. I don't know if he'll be Agent Venom, but maybe they'll try to play with Venom in the series. Because we haven't seen Flash yet. God King Mope said, Lucifer is the show I wanted Constantine to be. I think the thing Lucifer gets right, and at the same time gets wrong, is that it's very grounded. And I think that's, for me, why I'm able to connect with it. Because I'm not a big mystical fan, and that's obviously Lucifer's character. But I do like religious undertones, so that's why I do like Lucifer at the same time too. And I do believe they should have some more supernatural elements, but I like that it's grounded and you're able to relate to these characters so quickly. And I know some people don't like that Lucifer is too nice, but at the same time, I think it's the ability of, I don't know her name, but the female detective, who I'm guessing is an angel, which I'm really excited to see them explore that. And that's why I continue to watch, to see where these characters go and how they make this a supernatural show. And you can go back to other shows where they start out as a procedural or, a different type of show, and then after season 1, they change the direction and totally go supernatural. And right now, Lucifer's doing really well not really well, but it's doing well in the ratings. So hopefully it will get a season 2, even though the reviews aren't great for the show. And Chris says it hasn't frozen on his end. Awesome. Hasn't frozen in my end in a while too, so I'm glad. Google Plus sometimes. Traven Johnson, what are your thoughts on making a Wonder Woman series? Do you think the fans would like or no? Or do you think it'll grow as a series? Or what do I think about the Wonder Woman series right now? Like the Finch Wonder Woman series? I like it, and I really like the creative team. I didn't really read the first New 52 Wonder Woman creative team series, so I don't have an opinion on that. And also, I'm not a huge Wonder Woman fan, so if there are changes, it's like it doesn't matter as much to me. But I like it so far. I'm having a good time with it. All right. D&G, what are your favorite subgenres of Marvel and DC? Example, Bat Family, X-Men. Oh, okay. For Marvel, probably Spider-Man. DC, probably the Bat Family, Teen Titans. Omnitron, I still consider Young Justice a DC anime universe. Wally to be definite takes on Wally West. Yeah, they did a great job with Wally in that. Okay, last thing. Do you think with Wally, TV show Wally, yay or nay? So I'm guessing, do I like the TV show Wally? I think he has potential. Timothy Joshua, so far in 2016, which female character is kicking the most patootie? Oh, that's good. That's a good question. There's a lot of great female characters right now. Maybe Thor, Jane Foster. All right, I'm not going to answer that, Tevia, because I've answered that question before. Sparrow says, have you read the Infinity Gauntlet story? Which one? The Secret Wars one or the original one? Omnitron, I would say that they could make a Jay Garrick version of The Flash, do something kind of new and fresh, but that's the only thing I could say they'd do different for the movie. Yeah, just do a different Flash, something. Because having Barry in the movie and the show, I don't think we necessarily need that. A Jay Garrick movie would be a lot of fun, actually, especially if they do like a Golden Age movie. Like, at least I would be giving someone different at the table. Tevia, I've answered a lot of Ultimate Universe stuff, so I'm not going to answer that. Omnitron says, even though they said no Superman on TV, but do you think we should see a Superboy-centered episode on The Flash, as in Clark Kent as 15-year-old Superboy costume and all? Well, I don't think it should be on The Flash. I think if they're going to make a Superboy show, they should put on Supergirl. Oh, and Omnitron said a cut for him. Hopefully it's not happening too much, guys. I'm sorry. D&G says, why do comic book companies assume that new fans are too dumb to understand the difference between TV and movie versions of the characters? Can't tell you. Chris says he watches anime, Legends of Tomorrow, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, and Into the Badlands for now. You're going to get into so much more, Chris. Trust me. Got to catch up with Flash and Arrow. I think you'll probably catch up with Flash a bit more. I have to catch up with Into the Badlands. That's the show I have to really catch up with. But I have time because it was like 6 episodes, I think, of the first season. And then Legends Tomorrow. Obviously, I'm watching because I'm part of the Legends Tomorrow podcast. So that's a lot of fun to talk about that every week. Yeah, Chris just said still behind on The Flash. D&G said, are you looking forward to the new season of The Walking Dead? I never look forward to The Walking Dead, like, to be honest. Like, I do review the show and I like it in the moment, but it's not a show I get excited for. I do think it's a massively slow show. And I just don't care about the characters as much as I used to. I don't know. It's just a show that I like watching, and it's more because I'm invested because I've been watching it for so long, but not really because I love the show. So that's kind of my opinion on The Walking Dead. I think it's overhyped at times. Ami-chan said, I like Legends of Tomorrow, if only because it's not from another Justice League team. It's fun how they're playing with stuff in Legends of Tomorrow. John, sorry. Have you ever watched The Blacklist? If not, you should. I've never seen a full episode. I've heard good things, though. I'm not a huge procedural fan, so that's why I haven't watched it. Yeah, what D&G said, Blacklist is way too formulaic. It's a very procedural show. Ami-chan's talking about the Young Justice action figures. Chevy's talking about Wally West. D&G thinks that Blacklist had two great first seasons. Chevy is talking about Young Justice. I think there's a question here. Ami-chan, I believe a show should go on as long as it can keep things fresh and it doesn't go stale. They can keep it going. Keep it going. But end when it feels like it should end. Young Justice never ended. Yeah, I mean, if the TV business worked that way, right? But it does not. It's all about the money and the advertisers. That's how TV keeps going, and not as much about the creativity, even though they make creative shows, but that's why they cancel shows. D&G, if you could bring one character back into the mainstream continuity, anyone who's died or an alternate universe, who would it be? This could be for and comic publisher? I guess any comic publisher. I feel like everyone's come back already. I would like to see more Mayday. That'd be nice. Mope says, I have accepted the most we will ever get from Young Justice as a movie, mainly due to time constraints of the actors and the fact that the main showrunner has moved on. Yeah, like I agree. As much as I would like to see another season, it could definitely happen, but as I've been saying, I don't like overhyping situations. Don't we get too much hype already in certain things? Then you don't want to be let down. All right, Ami-tron. A show needs to change things up. Naruto as a series divided into two parts, and the second part was very different from the first part of the series, and moving forward, they're focusing on their kids. It's not staying still, and it's evolving. True. John wishes they would make a Batman Long Halloween movie. And Chevia says Ash vs. the Evil Dead's coming back September of this year. Ami-tron says, I'd love to see a Wonder Woman show on CW. Oh, it's paused for me on my part too. Oh, no, it's good. Anyways, yeah, no, I remember they were planning that, but I guess because of the movie, they did not do it. And then they had that failed TV show that happened. John, do you think we'll ever get the Question in the DC TV universe? Probably in... I hope so. That'd be great. I was going to say in Gotham, but that probably wouldn't make sense. I've only seen one episode of Gotham. Question, who's your favorite spider person besides Mayday Parker? I have a lot of favorite spider people. I did a topic video called Top 5 Favorite Spider People, so go check that out. Hold on. Going up. Sorry, I lost my place. God King 2 Wally movie could have been fun. Yeah, something different. Sparrow says, have I read the original Infinity Gauntlet? Here and there. I haven't read it all the way through. I'm not a big cosmic Marvel fan. Question, would do well on Batman, so let's put him on Arrow. Oh, Question. Oh, the Question. Yeah, I think the Question could do well on Arrow. But I know what you're saying. That Batman similar to the Arrow show, which I don't completely believe. Oh, that's a different topic. I'm not going to talk about Tim Tevia, sorry, we've answered that a lot on Comic Frontline. And then Timothy Joshua also believes that we don't need a Flash movie. Especially because we've already seen the origin story on TV. Omnitron says the origin story for the Flash. He gets hit by lightning. The end. Yeah, I totally agree. We really do not need to see another origin story of him. Rumor says, Senior Nerd says a rumor is that Warner Brothers is looking for Taron Egerton to play Jason Todd. I would like to see that. He was a good actor in Kingsman. I'm glad he's getting more roles. DNG says, I agree with any DC movie that's not Batman or Superman. It's 2016. Let's see more than 2 superheroes. Still don't agree with Flash. And Mope says, going to have to head out. Thank you for answering. Thank you for joining. Let me see how much time we have. We have about half an hour. Omnitron, do you wish that DC would be more clear on who the CW can use? For instance, I kind of wish they could use Wildstorm characters. I don't think they'll ever tell us. I think they tell the writers who kind of need to know who they can use. I'm not going to answer that, Tevia. Because he's asking if I think Tom Taylor would be a good Spider-Man writer. Yeah, I love Tom Taylor's writing, so I would like to see him write Spider-Man. But let's finish off what we have now. You know. DNG says, "Cat Arrow's poor Batman. We don't have to keep pretending it's not." I don't believe that, but Arrow's character is very similar to Batman, so that is why there's so many parallels. And then people are going to say there's so many Batman villains in Green Arrow, but those Batman villains are part of the DC universe. They're not just Batman villains. So I don't necessarily agree. Again, I could go on with why I don't think they're... I mean, of course they have similar things, but I don't think they're perfectly the same character. Like people are saying, Arrow's too Batman. I don't believe that. Mr. Secret Sentai, if you had to pick writer or artist from Marvel or DC, I get this question a lot, or DC to switch, who would it be and what would you have them work on? I never know this question, you know, I don't know. Maybe Jeff Johns from Marvel, even though he's kind of written some Marvel stuff already. And DC, well, DC should go to, and Marvel personally should go to DC. Maybe Brian Michael Bendis would be kind of cool to see. Titan movie or not? Nah, there's too many things going on in Batman vs Superman. I don't want to see the Teen Titans too. Tavia, we already talked about Wally West. Tavia, we totally have already talked about Spider-Man. I'm gonna lock down the Spider-Man questions from you, Tavia. I got a new topics. Not Wally or Spider-Man. What else do you want to talk about? Just because a lot of those questions we have answered on Comic Frontline. DNG, we live in post-Green Lantern world, so whatever you think Flash is bad, just think of that in Hot Topic Aquaman. Timothy Joshua says, TV Arrow, I guess you can say is somewhat similar, but that's starting to change, but I don't think comic version is similar to Batman. I think some aspects of the comic version is just because they're both rich guys who became heroes, and also went through some traumatic stuff in their life. So they're obviously going to have some similarities, but I don't think Green Arrow is a copy of Batman by any means. All right, so keep coming with the questions, guys. Just ran out just now, so thank you guys for so many comments too. So I'm going to, let me make sure the video is working. Yeah, we're good. I'll talk a little bit as I wait for more comments, as I've been doing, is talking. But yeah, any questions? TV show stuff too, movies, comics, of course. Any comic book questions? So we could do all that. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe things coming up. I could tell you guys my TV list of what I'm watching right now. I could do that. So yeah, Tuesdays there's so many shows on now. We got Teen Wolf also. I watch Pretty Little Liars on Tuesdays. I watch obviously Flash, Agent Carter. Like I said, I was behind. Shannara Chronicles I pretty much dropped. Same for Shadowhunters I dropped. What else? The Magicians. Bidden is coming this Monday. Very excited about that. We'll be reviewing that. It's going to be on Sci-Fi. And if you're in Canada, it actually already aired, I'm pretty sure. So go check out Bidden if you haven't. Laura Vandervoort from Smallville is the star of that. And this is the last season, too. So totally recommend that. And that's also something on Netflix. Mondays. What else? Supergirl, obviously, I watch on Mondays. Wednesday, I watch Arrow. And then I watch some comedies too, but usually not on time. Like I watch Fresh Off the Boat, watch The Modern Family, I watch The Middle, I watch Big Bang Theory, The Muppets. I think those are all the comedies I watch. Thursday, Legends of Tomorrow. Friday, don't watch anything, I don't think. Sunday, now Walking Dead's back, so I'll be watching that. That's pretty much my list. I'm trying. Oh, Quantico too when Zach comes back, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watch. That's pretty much my list of TV. So as you can tell, I watch a lot of TV. And again, binging Gilmore Girls right now. I'm up to like the end of season 2. All right. Now we got some more questions. So we're going to scroll up here. Amitron says Green Arrow was made as an in-company ripoff of Batman, originally cash-in. I think Green Arrow has changed a lot to become his own character. DNG says, what's the coolest comic book costume you've ever seen? I don't know. In real life or like someone cosplaying? I don't know. Javia asks if we're going to ever get a new Batman Beyond series. I only comic book, maybe, which I think already has a comic book. But Tavia, I know your opinion on the Batman Beyond comic, so don't talk about that. But we don't have to get into that. I've never been a Batman Beyond fan, honestly. Like I've stated in the past. Mr. Secret Sentai, how many seasons do you think Arrow and Flash will last? Do you think they'll be Smallville long? Probably if the actors and writers want to go that long, I think they will, because CW likes keeping their shows, as we've seen with Supernatural and even Beauty and the Beast. Amazing comics, come on. Green Arrow isn't Green Arrow, sweetie. He is CW Batman. Comic Green Arrow is different, but TV is Batman. No, I don't agree with that. Watch season 4 Arrow. I think is completely different. I hate the argument of that though. But you know what? I don't hate it because that is people's opinion. But I hear it so often, and I mean, especially this season, I think Green Arrow's kind of come to his own. I think it's because people compare season 1 of Arrow. And again, people compare the villains where there's so many Batman villains that are in the DC universe that, of course, they're going to show up. And then people say Deathstroke's a Batman villain, which he's a Teen Titans villain. So, yeah, I mean, again, watch this season. He's a lot brighter of a character, and I think it's because he was a darker character in season 1. And will I agree maybe season 1 of Arrow was similar to Batman? Maybe. But I think there's definitely aspects that he doesn't have a Batman, because Batman has that trauma of obviously losing his parents, and in Arrow he has trauma of losing his father, but then you still had the mother, so that made an interesting dynamic. You had the sister. Batman did not have any siblings, so I think there's a lot of different dynamics here that I personally would not call it a Batman show. And like people have stated, you know, Green Arrow kind of started out as someone who's similar to Batman. So if you watch season 4 of Arrow, I would disagree with that. Tevi Axe, how's my comic going? It's going really well. Guys, it will be available issue 2 really soon if you guys weren't Kickstarter backers for that. So we're just finishing off giving the Kickstarter rewards. And also right now, Short Fuse Media has the Kickstarter for the crossover of all these interesting creator-owned books, including Like Father, Like Daughter, to be an anthology book, which is like 59 pages, 56 pages. And again, like Father Like Door is part of that. So they're working on that, and then we're going to get issue 2 on sale, and we are working right now on issue 3. So very soon that we'll get that started too. Amitron says, do you think Deadpool has the most true-to-page costume we've had in a movie since modern comic book movies started? I would say so. He definitely has a good true-to-page costume. I never heard of this movie. Any opinion on the upcoming Henry action movie? I've never heard of it. SM Down says, did you already give Deadpool a score? Yes, on my review, so go check it out. Amazing Comics says iZombie. In one set. Oh yeah, iZombie I watched. Yeah, I do watch iZombie too. I think that's what you're talking about. I don't know why that slipped my mind, that because I usually watch it like a day after. That's probably why. Mr. Secret Sentai X, have I ever watched wrestling? When I was really little, I used to watch it, but I'm not really into it now. Sparrow says, how do you feel about things like the Infinity Gauntlet or any godlike being like Darkseid? Honestly, those villains tend to be a bit boring to me. I like seeing a villain that is a bit more like Lex Luthor or the Joker, going into their psychology a bit more. I don't love the overpowered villains as often. Oh, hold on, sorry, the thing is going down. Okay, sorry, I just saw another comment that I will obviously get to. Tevi is talking about Ivor the Time Walker, which, again, I've never even heard of. So, Amitron says, am I the only one surprised it took this long to take Hanna-Barbera comic superhero universe? Yeah, I'm glad that they're doing it. I know it's a bit more controversial, but you know, it's a different universe. They can do whatever they want. They still have like the Scooby-Doo comics going on if you want your regular Scooby-Doo stuff. I'm interested in it. Tevia, Tevia, we've answered the Dread question a lot, and I keep saying I've never seen Dread, so I have no opinion on it. Yeah, so I'm not gonna, I have no idea anything about Dread. I can't tell you. Amazing Comics says, I prefer Green Arrow in the comics, not the TV. I love the television show. I love the comic version of Green Arrow, not the current one. The current one's so out of character. I really do not like the New 52 Green Arrow, and especially the current stories going on, like I said. But I love what I've always stated. I've loved Judd Winnick and Kevin Smith's run on Green Arrow. DNG says, have I ever watched Firefly? Yeah, I've seen the whole thing, and I've seen Serenity. I like it. It's been a really long time since I've seen it. I was probably like 8th grade, so it's about 2008. I saw the TV show and the movie, but I enjoy it, and it has obviously a great cast. I love Whedon stuff in general. I think the only Whedon thing I've never seen fully is Dollhouse, because it didn't pique my interest. Tevye asks if I have an opinion on Spider-Gwen costume. I think it's great. And now people are talking on. DNG says all 10 readers of Beyond are pissed. Yeah, I've no opinion on Batman Beyond. Timothy Joshua says, do you cosplay? I'm thinking about cosplaying as Quillman because that is all I can afford. From Doug. I do not cosplay. I definitely give props to the people that do, though. More Wally West talk. Season 4 Arrow is Batman in China. He's not even in China. DNG. He's not even in China in season 4. That was season 3. And still no Batman. I don't know why you guys are saying this. I explain why, in my opinion, this is not true. But you guys know I have a special part for Arrow in my heart. Yeah, Tevye says Deathstroke has always been in the Titans villain. Yes, he has. I mean, he's also technically a DC Universe villain. Everyone is, but he's definitely more a Titans villain. Tron wants to see Billy Batson in the CW. They're making a movie for him, too, so I don't see it happening. Timothy Joshua says, I'm just going to drop it this year, but I hated Season 3 of Arrow. Drops Mike. I didn't hate Season 3 of Arrow, but I see the faults of Season 3 of Arrow. But what I liked about season 3 is that we got some good Thea progression and character development. So that's, and also Laurel. But other stuff with season 3, I agree, weren't great. I think season 4 has improved a lot for Arrow. Amazing Comics says, please Starcrossed, be dead. Are you talking about the TV show? What? I don't know which one you're talking about, so let me know. Mr. Secret Sentai, if you had to get rid of one season of Arrow or episode, which would it be? Season 1 of Arrow. I really did not like season 1 that much. All right, we got a new question from Tevia. Question, any opinion of all new, all different Avengers? Because in my opinion, I find this series finally getting interested with the Vision. I still think it's pretty mediocre, but it has gotten better. SM Down asks if I want Deadpool 2. Yeah, and I think it's happening. So, do I have a favorite Crisis? DNG asks. Not particularly. Not a favorite Crisis. All right, Tevye, I actually did a video for you for the top 5 Ultimate Universe characters. I remember you recommended it, so go watch that video. Sparrow says, I agree with you with godlike beings, and thanks for answering all my questions. No problem. Thanks for answering them. Tevye asks, do I have any opinion on Daredevil Season 2? Because in my opinion, I can't wait because of the Punisher. Yeah, I'm excited about it because I'm excited for Elektra, honestly. Season 1 wasn't like, I didn't hype it up as much as other people did just because I'm not a huge Daredevil fan in general, but I do like Elektra's character. So excited about that. DNG asks favorite character from Justice League Gods and Monsters. It's probably Batman. I thought you had a really interesting backstory. Favorite, oh wow, okay, this is a big question. Tevye says favorite family member in Superman, Batman, Flash, and Spider Family. All right, so start with Superman would definitely be Kara. Even though I like a lot of characters from these families, but my favorite, Bat Family, between Barbara Gordon and Stephanie Brown. Flash Family, Jesse Quick. Spider Family, Spider-Girl. All right. SM Down says, did Deadpool remind you of Quentin Tarantino movie? Because the way the story was structured and ultra violence made me think of him. Not really. I think Tarantino, if it was a Tarantino movie, it would be a 3-hour Deadpool movie. But yeah, it didn't really remind me of that. Also, Tarantino's very much, with his script, is very fast-talking type movies. I didn't really see that with Deadpool. Harold Bean. Oh, usually I see Harry Bean, so I'm guessing he's using another account. Or there's 2 Harry Beans. Excited for Spider-Man Alpha, Spider-Woman Alpha issues. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for that whole entire event. Hold on. Going up. I lost it. Lost my spot. Let's see. All right, here we go. No, Tevye says Alpha. Oh, God, not him. It has nothing to do with Alpha. It's just because the alphabet Alpha's, 1. Right? Alpha, no, Alpha's A. Sorry. In the Greek alphabet. So it does not mean Alpha, the character. Which villain do you think the Flash Supergirl crossover? I don't know. That's a good question. That's more of a wait and see thing. All right, Tevye's hating on Arrow. Guys, come on. Talking to the wrong person to hate on Arrow. And then I got more hate here for Arrow. SM Down's talking about Sarah and Laurel. I've definitely heard that conversation from SM Down before. Amazing Comics says the last episode was weird. Go check out my review for that to see if my opinion's on the last episode of Arrow. Amitron says, can we all just agree Rob Liefeld nearly destroyed the comic industry and the only 2 characters he made were made good by other writers? I honestly have not read enough of Liefeld's work to really state that, but I've heard it. Harry Bean on Legends tomorrow. I wonder if Firehawk will be shown. I hope so, because I love Firehawk as a character. Mr. Secret Sentai, least favorite comic event. I don't know. There's so many of them. Fear itself maybe was a pretty pointless one, but yeah, it keeps going on and on of how many events I do not like, especially in recent years. D&G, if you could pitch a new Saturday cartoon geared towards teens and adult audience, who would the show be about? Spider-Girl. Timothy Joshua, hold on. Says, I gotta go to bed, but have fun while I was here. Bye, and I enjoyed Like Father, Like Daughter issue 2. Go support it, people. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I know you're not here right now, Timothy, but let me know what you liked about it. We'd really like to hear your expanded thoughts on the issue. Tubby, I have no opinion on Spawn. Never read the character. Amazing Comics asks, what is Spider-Woman Alpha? It's Spider-Gwen, Jessica Drew, and Silk teaming up and going into different universes. It looks fun. On Darkness, never read it. Now, question is, D&G, Jessica Drew or She-Hulk? Probably She-Hulk. I've been a Jen fan for longer. Mr. Secret Sentai says, do you think we'll ever get another Static comic? I'm sure one day we will. Tavi asks if I think the Ultimate Jessica Drew deserves her own comic. Yeah, I really like the character, but I don't even know if she's still alive from Secret Wars, so we gotta find that out first. Do I think Regent will take on Web Warriors? I don't know. We'll find out. Right now, they're dealing with the Electro. All the Electros. I can't. I'm always butcher your name. I'm sorry, but Alajade Adebe. What's up, Kat? Haven't been here in forever. Hey, what's up? Sorry, gotta move up. Amazing Comic says, I didn't like Spider-Verse. I think the women were underused. I like Spider-Verse for different reasons, but I don't think it was a perfect event. Amitron, do you think a She-Hulk show with practical effects could work? I definitely think so. She's definitely a character that should be expanded upon. In Batman vs Superman, who do you want to win? I don't think anyone's gonna win in that. I think it's gonna be them agreeing, oh, let's go get I was gonna say the Joker because he reminds me of the Joker. Let's go get Jesse Eisenberg. D&G says Miss Marvel or Cassandra Cain. Miss Marvel. Even though I like both characters. And Omitron's, hey guys, gotta head out, but had fun. Tevia, Stephanie Brown or Cassandra Cain? Stephanie Brown. Feel like I do like Cassandra Cain, but you keep pitting them against some great characters. Tevia, I'm not going to answer about Ultimate End because we've talked about that a lot. And just go check out Frontline Live, which I know you're there every week, so check out our answers again. Amazing Comic. She-Hulk will have her first solo after Secret Wars when Force's first arc ends. She-Hulk has had her, I don't know if you're talking about comics, She-Hulk has actually had a couple of solo comics before. She had the Savage She-Hulk, the Sensational She-Hulk, she had the Dan Slott She-Hulk series. She had a lot of She-Hulk series. Liking the covers for 4963. Are you looking forward to the new ongoing Tomb Raider? Not really. I'm not a big Tomb Raider fan. Do you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial? Not really. I didn't think a lot of them stood out to me. I guess the Civil War Marvel commercial was good, and the Coca-Cola Marvel commercial was good. Uh, Mount Tyler Durden 9. Have you ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold? It's a good show, which pays homage to Silver Age Batman. Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen definitely episodes of it. Rich Avina, do you think we'll ever see a live action fiction show on the CW? Well, we know she's got an Arrow in a few weeks. But I don't really want to see a Vixen live action show. Like, I liked her for the web series, but I'd rather see another character get a show. Mr. Secret Sentai, have you ever thought of doing a top 10 favorite comic single issues of the year? That'd be interesting. Maybe it'd be hard, but yeah, maybe it's a good topic. When the January comes around, Mr. Secret Sentai, remind me of that. Maybe I'll do a topic video on it. D&G, if you could pick one artist to do an issue of Like Father, Like Daughter for free, who would it be? To fit the style of the universe, Joe Eisma, definitely from Morning Glories. Tavi, I'm not answering the marriages thing. We've gone through that a lot. Try to table that conversation because we totally went over that conversation before. Again, Tevia, go check out Frontline Live for those answers. Amazing Comics. I said she will have a new title after the first arc of A Force is her first post-Secret Wars title. Sorry. Okay. So you're just saying you think that she'll have a title. I mean, yeah. I mean, I hope so. I kind of wouldn't want to really see Charles Soule on the character. I didn't love his run. I would like to see another person on it. I would like to see. I can't think of her name right now. Jennifer Walters. Jennifer Walters. No, that's not her name. Why can I think of Red She-Hulk's name? Oh, Betty Ross. I would like to see Betty Ross utilize a bit more since we haven't seen her since the Doc Savage comic. Mr. Mount Tyler Durden says, what do you think about the announcement of the Eclipse comic? I'll try it out. I know some people have a problem with it, but I'll try it out. Question. Speaking of Civil War, this is Tevia. What was your opinion of the tie-in that came out for the first Civil War? Because in my opinion, I read the Spider-Man tie-in and it was really good. Honestly, I've read those tie-ins a really long time ago, so I can't even tell you. I don't remember them that much. Mr. Secret Sentai says, check you guys later. I'm out. Thank you for joining us. I'll probably be ending the show in about like 15 minutes. So guys, come up with your last kind of minute questions coming up. Ashutosh Akela says, how do you feel about Eisenberg as Luthor? I know this question has been a frequent one, but he doesn't look too intimidating. That's the aspect of the movie I really am not looking forward to. I do not like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor. I think he plays the same character over and over again. I don't even know if he respects Lex Luthor as a character, just seeing some interviews he's had in the past. I do not like the idea. SM Down, what if Supergirl Flash crossover was them racing, like how Superman raced Flash? It'd be cool if I don't know if that would be the whole crossover, but it'd be cool if they gave an homage to that. D&G, were there any events in the decade that you believe had really X-overs? Can you reword that question, D&G? Tevi asks, do I have any opinion on the upcoming Apocalypse War? Not really. We'll see what happens when that comes up. Mount Tyler Durden, if you could pick one story arc for Bryan Singer adapt into an X-Men film, which one would you pick? How about the done right? Tevia, last question. If you had the power to write a crossover with Spider-Girl, Mayday Parker and Spider-Gwen series, would you do it in a heartbeat? Yeah, of course. D&G said really great crossovers. I feel like there's so many crossovers out there. I don't know. I like the Invincible Spider-Man crossover. I thought that was pretty cool to have those two companies crossed over. All right, guys. So we're getting into the end, like I said. So last minute questions for the Q&A, and hopefully you enjoyed, guys. Again, I really enjoyed doing this to connect with you guys and just do this. And I'm actually getting really close to 8,000 subscribers, so I'll do like a special Q&A for that whenever that happens. It'll probably be the monthly Q&A that I do, but I'll like give away some Marvel digital codes and stuff like that, and it'll be fun. So be sure to look forward to that whenever I do hit 8,000 subscribers. But yeah, I'll definitely have another Q&A in March. Do not know the week or the day, but I kind of figure it out as the week goes on. I'm like, all right, I could do it that day. I knew we were getting closer to the end of February because it's a shorter month, so I wanted to get it done. What date? It's the 13th, so it's getting there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so keep coming up with the questions. I see a few here. I'll try and make them load a little bit more. I'll give you guys another minute, and then, like I said, we'll start wrapping up after that. And doing that. So yeah, questions, comics, movies, TV shows, all those fun jazz. And then I'll tell you guys what's coming up for the channel, and then we'll close it out. All right, so let's get to the questions. Again, these are the last ones. D&G, do you think Civil War will work in one movie? I hope so. Liking the cover, 4963. Do you like the new writer on Deathstroke? Not really. I honestly have not seen the difference on Deathstroke still. I guess they're getting to the point a bit more. It's still not a great series, in my opinion. Ashtosh Akela says, I was reading Flash Rebirth, and OMG, it's kind of confusing. Do you think you could do an explain video on that storyline? I usually don't do explain videos, but maybe I'll do like a review for it in some way. Give me like a topic video for Flash Rebirth, and maybe I'll be able to do that. But yeah, it's been a little while since I've read it. But I could reread it. Mount Tyler Jordan says, have you read Brian Michael Bendis' Powers or The United States of Murder? I read both and didn't really like either of them. It's Tevia's action and video game question. Sorry, Tevia, like we've stated many times on Frontline Live, me and Jay do not play many video games on Frontline Live, on Frontline. So you go ask Chris that type of question because he's more of a video game person. Chris and Michael. And Bran also dabbles in video games. Mount Tyler Durden, what is your favorite Scooby-Doo film? Honestly, it's been a really long time since I've seen the Scooby-Doo movies. I kind of remember Zombie Island. That might be my favorite. I don't know. I have to look back at them. I haven't seen them since I was a kid. Tevia, we've also answered that question about Warcraft before. D&G asks if I've ever read Kirkman's Irredeemable Ant-Man. What do you think? I've actually never read that. John, who do you think the best villain on Arrow has been? Malcolm Merlin. Detevi asks if I will ever review the real Clone Saga. I don't see myself reviewing it as of right now. Mount Tyler Jordan, Dwayne McDuffie's birthday's coming up. Are you doing a tribute video for him? I don't know if I would do a tribute video. Recommend a topic video, and I'll do something with Dwayne McDuffie. Yeah, so that looks like all the questions here. So thank you guys for joining me for this Q&A. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys did too. If you guys have more questions or comments, just let me know in the comments below, even if this is post live. And I will see you guys later. Again, I'll have this again next month or whenever I hit 8,000 subscribers. And again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Things coming up for me, obviously TV reviews on Monday. Now Bidden's added to the TV list. Comic reviews yesterday. Go check that out. There's a lot of comic reviews. Go check out Comic Uno episode on Comic Frontline. Check out the Legends Tomorrow podcast. I also write for a couple websites, Entertainment Views, the Marvel Report, and the Weekly Pull. So you can check out all those at comicfrontline.com too. Check that all out. And then again, Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Media Madness, we're doing a Deadpool Media Madness with Real School Mike, Tony, Black Critic Guy, Joe from Agree to Disagree, and Rob, other Robert. And then, of course, Frontline Live, 9:30 to 10 on Tuesday. So look forward to all of that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Also, go check out my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, if you haven't. Issue 1 is on sale. We're getting closer to get issue 2 on sale and getting ready for that. So thank you, guys. Go check out the Kickstarter for Short Fuse Media with that crossover comic, Heroes Ignited. You can check out my Facebook, or you can just ask me if you want the Kickstarter link. I'll get you guys that. Also, I have a video about it if you want more information on it. You can go check that out. So thank you, guys. This is Comic Uno, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining me and asking me some awesome questions.